Some are even saying it's not fair to tell stories about somebody that is no longer around to defend themselves.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.
So this is going to be a great break, by the way. If you're listening to us right now, which makes sense if you're hearing me say that, Rob's going to talk about his list, and then Danielle has a list, and you guys can work together on this. Are you okay with that, Danielle?
Yeah, of course.
All right, this is pretty good. So it's now time for Rob. He has his own theme, written by Barry Manilow.
Scandal and vice, or sugar and spice. It's naughty but nice with Rob.
You won't believe what I had to do to get him to do that. But that's a different story.
All right. Okay, so your list is throbbing.
Lots and lots.
Where do you want to start?
Let's do some royal exclusives up front. So I love bringing you news you're not going to hear anywhere else. My sources in London tell me they are planning to do a big tour of America. William and Kate.
Oh, good.
Will be coming here.
We love them.
We love them. Glamorous, young, beautiful. And I think they want to promote this new monarchy, this new King Charles III is a new crown, and they're very much part of that. He's next in line for the throne, so they're going to be coming here. I don't know yet what cities, what states they're going to come to.
Will they maybe go to Montecito to visit Harry and Meghan?
If they come to America and they don't stop off at Harry and Meghan's, I think we're all going to be chitter-chattering. So hopefully that opportunity happens. I spoke to a friend of mine this morning in London who works for the Royals, and they said that the funeral was sort of a missed opportunity. There was no private meetings. I guess they were busy. There was a lot going on. But unfortunately, they didn't sit down and decide or talk about the future. So hopefully those brothers can figure it out.
Wait, did she talk to the king? Because I thought that Meghan asked for a
Meghan asked. She actually wrote him a letter, which is apparently how she gets to meet her father-in-law. Like mine, I would just text, but Meghan had to send a letter. There wasn't a meeting, but in Charles's defense here, he was busy. So it's a busy day, I guess, being king. He's not put on the crown yet, so he's still He can't wear the crown until the coronation, which has not happened. So although he is the king, the crown is not on his head yet.
We have rules, people.
Got to follow the rules. Got to follow the rules.
Okay, so what else is on your list? I was watching this earlier. I do want to get to Hocus Pocus.
Ooh, I was there last night.
Not yet. Not yet. I know that we're all dying to see the new Hocus Pocus.
I saw it.
Okay, let's move on to, Froggy. Let's move on to Tom Brady and Gisele.
Oh, yeah. What's going on? Come on.
They're really fighting hard. My insiders tell me they do not want this marriage to end. If they wanted it to end, it would be very easy to end it. They've both got resources. What are they
fighting about?
I think that they've just grown apart. So there's no cheating. Let's be really clear about this. They want to make sure we all know neither one is cheating, just life is hard, and they've been married now for 13 years.
Right.
They both are incredibly busy with their careers, and so I think they just have to figure out some time to spend together. Now, was she happy that he went back to football without consulting her? Probably not. But it's not just that. I hear it's so much bigger. But I'm hearing right now, Froggy, they've left and are heading to Miami to get out of the storm's way.
I was about to ask if Hurricane Ian could be the thing that forces them back together.
It could go either way, couldn't it? They hunkered down together in Miami. It could make them realize how much they love each other, or 4 days locked in a house with you. Goodbye. No, I hope they'll make it. My sources are telling me they don't want this to end. They love each other. They have issues. But fingers crossed. I'm optimistic. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Very good.
I'd like to see them make it too. Yeah, they're practicing in Miami. Not sure if the game's going to happen Sunday night in Tampa or not. If they'll move it to Minneapolis.
Hey, okay, I have a question. A lot of press this week about Kelly Ripa's new book.
Yes.
And I know.
I ordered it.
You ordered it? Of course you did. What's the other? You ordered another book at the same time.
Oh, yeah. The new Spice Girl one. Melanie C. Sporty Spice.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one I started last night.
Wow. Kelly Ripa, Sporty Spice.
Yeah.
Now, I know for a fact that when Regis left the show and Kelly Ripa stayed on, that they just never spoke.
Never spoke again.
A lot of Regis's friends were very, very pissed off that Kelly turned out to be kind of cold about that that separation.
Yeah, we might have the same friends here. So what
Yes,
I'm
we
hearing
do.
is that people are furious that she's speaking out about Regis. I think everything she said is truthful, at least from her perspective. She's claiming it was really difficult to have this TV relationship where you're thrown into it by producers, by people at the network. So suddenly this man that is much older than you meet, and then 5 days a week you sit next to them and you have to pretend to be best friends. She said, to the outside world, it all looked really organic, but it was really difficult. I'm reading her book now. She comes across terribly sympathetic in it. However, there are definitely sentences or two in this book that have upset the Regis friends. Regis is a legend at ABC, and people within the building are cross about this, and some are even saying it's not fair to tell stories about somebody that is no longer around to defend themselves.
But wait, au contraire, that's the time to do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, keep listening to this show. The day I croak, the next day, they are going to talk smack.
Stop it.
Now, even though we know him and even though he works with us, how's the relationship from your sources between Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest?
They get along really well. I think they're a similar age. They have a lot in common. They just have stuff in common. Regis and Kelly did it, and this is interesting too. Ryan and Kelly are equals. Like, it was Kelly's show when Ryan joined. She's never felt like she was an equal with Regis, even down to the negotiations. She said it was kind of petty when she signed up. Her name had to be just a little bit smaller on the poster than Regis's. She wasn't allowed her own hair and makeup people. She had to use Regis's. And she couldn't even get an office. Regis had an office and she had a cubicle. So if you're going to put two people as co-hosts, you got to treat them equally. And she didn't feel like she was.
Danielle and Gandhi, do you have an office?
No.
Where's your name on the poster?
Our name on the poster is a little small. I'm just going to say.
Wait, your name's on the poster?
I mean, and the morning. Isn't it and the morning show? Isn't that our name?
They are identified as and the morning show.
That's our name.
Can I just, like, in all of this, it does seem like she's being a little bit petty about stuff, because when you get an offer and you come into somebody else's show, like you just said, it's Kelly's show now and Ryan joined it. I mean, shouldn't you be grateful for the opportunity and work your way up to all of those other things as opposed to just expecting it as soon as you get there?
Yes, and she would argue that all of this is being taken out of context, and I have read the book. I'm reading the book right now. In context, it comes across much nicer than what I'm sounding like right now. It's terrible what I've done. But these are the stuff, when you write a book, you run to the index and you look who's in the book. So I went straight to the index, I saw Regis, I read those 3 pages, and then I read the book later on. So I think she knew this stuff was going to be pulled out. The book overall is delicious, funny stories, delicious, but she's really honest, and I think that's what writing a book is probably about.
Yes.
It tells the truth.
Yeah.
Very much so. Now, I know there's something else I wanted to ask you about. Thank God for answering all my questions today. So Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Is trying to woo David Beckham into Scientology.
Another book, this wild book out by a former Scientologist.
Yeah, listen to this.
He's telling all, and he's claiming that when he was in the Church of Scientology built a football field for Tom Cruise to woo David Beckham. The mistake they're making with this is when you retire from a job, you don't want a football field, you want a bakery. Like if they built a bakery or something
I'd go.
that he wanted, I would join immediately. So lots of stories in the book, lots of stories about Tom Cruise, and it's a soft book on Tom, but it talks about Nicole Kidman was pushed out of that marriage because Scientology didn't appreciate her. But this story about David Beckham, and he's a world famous star, not just America, a star around the world. They wanted him to be part of the organization. He never joined, but they still have that football pitch.
Okay, so here's my question to everyone in the room.
Yeah.
Just as Tom Cruise tried to woo David Beckham into Scientology with a football field, a soccer field, what would it take to get you to roll to Scientology? It's scary. They'd have to build what?
They would have to build, I don't know, a candy factory.
Oh, candy factory. What about you, Straight Nate?
Oh, God, that's about bakery, candy factory.
What about you, Danielle? What would Scientology have to build for you to woo you into the fold?
Okay, a shoe store that only I get to shop in, that they replenish constantly with the latest fashions.
Yes, okay. What about you, Gandhi? What would get you into Scientology?
Oh, an animal sanctuary with elephants, raccoons, maybe some chinchillas.
Right.
All the good stuff.
Yep. What about you, Frog?
Golf course with Tom Brady and Tiger Woods playing every day.
What about about you, Elvis?
Oh, me? A bar with naked guys. I'd be a Scientologist. What about you?
What would get me into Scientology is David Beckham. Forget the football field. Just give me Mr. David Beckham.
I'm with you.
All right, excellent. Now, one more thing. We're all dying to see Hocus Pocus 2. You saw it. You saw it last night.
Last night was the premiere here in New York. Bette was there. Kathleen and Jimmy. I saw Sarah Jessica Parker too. She was there with Matthew. She never turns up with Matthew. It's fantastic. It's so naughty and cheeky and campy, and it's in on the joke. I would go as far as to say it's even better than the first. It's really
get out, get out.
And I think it's because we fell in love with these characters over the last 20 years or so. We've watched this every Halloween, and it's just such a fun movie, and the ladies are really in it. They're giving it their all, and Bet's already started a rumour. I heard her last night saying there's going to be a third one.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I was so nervous it wasn't going to live up to the hype of the first one.
Right.
This is great.
And Rob, he's not going to sit here and sugarcoat this.
Oh, I'm vile. I'm a mean person.
You
If I
really
didn't
are.
like it, I would have told you.
All right.
The Mercedes-Benz Interview Lounge.